Do you want to have the perfect start possible in Metaphor Refantazio? You are in the right place. As your fellow player who started multiple playthroughs, I will be giving 22 tips that will save you a lot of time and help you avoid the common traps in the game. Like for example, selecting your main stats or class if you will when starting the game. This is a huge thing since answering the Haughty Captain actually determines your stats growths in the game without even knowing it. I started a new file because of this, and basically I'm stronger than I look and your stats growths will lean towards strength, and I've got a sharp mind which will affect your magic stat. I can take a lot of punishment will affect endurance. I'm small but quick which will influence agility on the other hand, and I've always been lucky which is luck. Strength affects physical damage, magic affects spells, endurance is damage mitigation, agility affects your evasion in combat, and luck influences your critical hits. I will be suggesting to be in the strength route as having a physical build or party is effective and I am having a blast with it. But if you wish to be a mage, no issues there and you will be taking advantage of elemental weakness a lot. But when it comes to where to use your bonus stat points, I suggest allocating them solely to what main stat you chose, like strength in my case. I don't know about you, but man, I find the motion blur too much in this game, especially when sprinting. This could be a make or break feature for a lot of people, and in my opinion, we should be able to turn off the motion blur when sprinting because it is so annoying. But the easy fix for that is turning off the automatic sprint feature in the settings. Tip number 3 is beating the optional dragon in Nord Mines. When starting the game, did you know that you can have a powerful sword by beating the dragon in Nord Mines? So don't skip it. Fighting it with 2 warrior archetypes and a single mage is manageable. Let your warrior archetypes use the ice chunks and let the mage cast Blizz to deal serious damage to the dragon as it is weak to ice. After beating it, you will be getting a nice sword that will help you boost your attack damage overall. Tip number 4 is prioritizing the healer quest. As you progress in the story, and this is during the early game, you will meet a girl named Maria. Forming a bond with her will let you unlock the healer archetype. Then you will get the quest for more, which requires you to level up the healer archetype to level 10. Prioritize this as completing this quest will let you access the archetype menu anywhere versus going to the academia every time you need to unlock an archetype, and it is so damn annoying. While I will also be suggesting effective ways to level up efficiently later on. Tip number 5 is abusing the fast travel. Fast traveling will save you a lot of time in this game since you will be going back and forth in places, especially when increasing your virtue stats or when completing side quests. To fast travel, just open your map and select the location that you want to travel to. You need to progress through the story a little bit to unlock this feature on the other hand. Tip number 6 is change the difficulty anytime if you wish to. I'm not exactly a fan of this feature, but I know there are a lot of people who just want to have fun. If you find yourself stuck in battles, you can always change the difficulty in the settings to help you make things lighter. Tip number 7 is buy information always from the informant. Don't forget to visit the informant near the Hush Honeybee Inn or inside the inn. You can buy valuable information about enemy types and weaknesses before entering a dungeon so you can prepare effectively. Not only that, the informant also sells details about available materials in the city which can be helpful for quests. I recommend purchasing all of the information available when you can. This game is all about managing your time, which I will also provide tips for later, but optimizing your run should be a priority as visiting dungeons takes a full day if going into one. Dungeon runs are obviously required if you want to grind for resources or level up your characters, but it is easy to waste calendar days if you don't know what you are doing. There are 3 effective spots that you can take advantage of during the early game: the Grand Cathedral spot, Balega Dungeon, and Tradia Desert. Optimizing your runs in the said spots will require a whole different video to explain, so that's why I made a specific video that will help anyone to set their footing in the game. This video will guide you step by step from starting a new save and lead you to the actual early spots in the game along with all the things you need to have a perfect start. I highly suggest checking the video out after this one so you will know how to grind resources effectively. By following this video, you will know how to unlock the merchant archetype. That will tremendously boost your farming gains so you can buy the expensive stuff easily available in the early game to give you the boost if you need to. Notable items such as the Great Epi, Noble Tuxedo, Phantasmal Doll, Praetorian Cloth, and of course the Igniter from the Igniter shop. Tip number 9 is exchanging mag for money. Assuming that you already know how to farm currencies effectively, you will have excess mag after all of of that farming. Did you know that you can exchange them for money? During bad weather, the rate goes up as well, so if you are in need of quick cash and have excess mag, this is the way to go. Moving on to my stat building and time management tips, I mentioned that this game is all about time management. Newcomers in Persona or Atlus games should embrace the idea that every day counts. During early games, your early calendar days are crucial since they will be littered with activities that can increase your social stats or increase your bonds with NPCs, and we call them social links. Going into dungeons spent days as well, so it is possible to be in a not so good spot if you don't pay attention to this. Ensuring that every calendar day is well spent, but more into this later. Speaking of the calendar, it is suggested to always check it to be on track with the current events or bargain days, which is Idol's Day, to take advantage of great discounts in local shops when buying expensive pieces of wares. Tip number 11 is increasing your bonds. Increasing your bonds with your teammates or other NPCs in the game will give you a lot of benefits. This is a core mechanic of Atlus or Persona games, as the higher your bonds, the more features you unlock or even unlock new archetypes. The more archetypes under your belt, the more combination you can take advantage of, so increasing bonds should always be at the top of your list when starting your day. Tip number 12 is Gallica is your ultimate guide in this game. Gallica is such a lifesaver literally in all aspects. Not only does she guide you in battles, but I see her value mostly when managing your schedule. You can always consult her if certain events are ongoing, or you can even track requests for you. When you start your day, she can monitor the available characters on your list so that you can increase your bonds with them. So always check her suggestions, as oftentimes she leads you to points of interest as well, such as new requests. Even though your time is limited, and I mentioned this a lot, ignoring side quests or requests is a no-no, since it can provide valuable rewards and even increase your virtual levels, and some of them even lead you to new bonds or optional dungeons to explore. You usually find these quest givers in streets or in establishments with the exclamation point icon above their heads. If this guide is providing value so far, subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and engaging in the comments helps me a lot, and I appreciate your support. Virtue is your social stats in this game. Activities and features will require certain virtual levels for you to participate in. Like for example, charge appraisals require level 2 wisdom, and these appraisals often birth to good items that you can use in the field. Tolerance virtue can be increased in Honeybee Inn by helping Fabienne cook for her customers, or you can talk and exchange ideas to the masked man in Sunshade Row. Wisdom virtue can be increased by accessing a bench in San Lumeo Street and by observing your surroundings. Imagination virtue can be increased by listening to a man's stories in the same area, while courage can be increased by doing bounties in Grand Trad. The eloquence can be increased later on in the game by participating in certain activities. Now I want to clarify that I am not saying these locations specifically can only increase each of the virtues mentioned in this guide, as you can gain points and level them in myriads of ways. I just want you to know where to find the first activities where you can level up your virtues at the start of the game. And it should be noted that it is better to participate in virtue activities in the latest towns that you have, since they provide more points compared to the previous towns you already visited. Also, another good tip is you can save your game before participating in a virtual activity, and if you don't like the result, you can just load your save, so you can determine the best course of action or answer for that specific activity to gain more points in the process. This is not required, but you do have this option. Moving on to my combat tips now, and Persona and Atlus games usually takes health and mana points the determining factor for you to continue your dungeon runs. Take it as your fuel perhaps. We already know how crucial saving time is in this game, and as mentioned, if you don't optimize your dungeon runs, you will end up wasting your calendar days. If you remember, going into dungeons requires a whole day, but you can actually prolong your dungeon runs by learning the first aid skill of the knight archetype, which can patch you up outside of battle by just using 2 MP. But the good thing is, you can actually refund your used MP back when killing or stunning trash enemies in the overworld because of the magic recovery skill of the mage archetype when equipped with the protagonist. Learning the first aid and magic recovery should be priority, since if you are in a dungeon with weaker enemies, you could potentially prolong your runs without limits. While also buying every fruit cordials or MP restoring items in all of the shops you will be encountering is also suggested. Useful for clutch moments just in case you need to replenish your MP. The scan ability is not just useful when gauging enemies around you, but it is actually useful in exploration. It can lead you through halls or small passageways to access hidden areas with treasure chests, so make it a habit to scan your surrounding when exploring dungeons. Hitting enemies outside of battles can be janky at times, so locking on enemies by pressing L1 is highly suggested. If you are locked on enemies, you can dash towards them and do the melee attacks to gain the advantage you need when the turn-based battle starts. Pretty useful when farming trash mobs as well, as the dash mechanic can make your run faster. Paying attention to combat messages or status can save you a lot of headaches, especially when fighting bosses. Like for example, this boss is charging itself and getting ready to hit the front row. But if you will move them to the back row, they will avoid the attack completely. So make it a habit to always read what's happening in combat or observe the reaction of your enemies on certain attacks, which help you determine their weaknesses and gain the upper hand. There are a lot of archetypes in the game, and each and every one of them has its strengths and weaknesses. To avoid spoilers, I will just name a few, like for example the Knight archetype, which is designed to aggro enemies and have this high endurance to tank damage but deals lesser physical damage compared to the Warrior, while the Warrior archetype focuses on offense by dealing physical damage as well. This archetype is suggested if you want to deal slash damage. So as expected, the Mage archetype is squishy but powerful when dealing with elemental weaknesses to targets. It is advisable to follow a traditional balanced party that covers healing, tanking, and offense for starters. However, since archetype skills can be inherited or transferred, using the same archetypes in a formation will work as well. Like for example, having 3 warrior type archetypes used in combat, focus heavily on offense is very effective early on, and this is just one example of unusual formation that you can do in this game. You also have synthesis abilities where you can perform devastating skills depending on the archetype combination that you have in a certain party. But this is better to be talked about in a separate video. Exploiting weaknesses in this game brings a lot of benefits and can easily give the player the upper hand in combat. Weaknesses not only give bonus damage but also takes only half of the character's turn, allowing the character to perform bonus actions. Gaining bonus turns in this game means the world, and this also applies to your enemies. So if you don't want to die quickly in combat and avoid getting headaches, you need to pay attention to your archetype's weaknesses. And this leads to tip, which is mastering the damage types. There are different damage types in the game that you need to be aware of, and the basics ones are slash, pierce, and strike, although they can be categorized as physical as a whole and magic. These are the basic ones that you need to understand when starting the game. Take the time to read what damage types you can inflict on your enemies depending on the current weapons and archetype skills you have. By doing this, you can easily identify what attacks are effective on your enemies or protect yourself from weaknesses. Another tip is you can actually buy igniters in Brigida's shop to broaden your element attacks in combat, as these accessories allow you to cast spells that an archetype does not have. They are pretty expensive, but if you follow my farming guide, it's not that hard to earn currency in this game. Like for example, my warriors need to perform or deal wind damage in a certain fight. Aside from inheriting a wind magic damage from a mage archetype, since the warrior archetype does not have this magic, you can use the Gale Igniter to have the spell instead. Although spells from igniters are weaker compared to the staple ones, it is still nice to have oftentimes for versatility. What's forgiving about the whole battle system is that you can actually reset battles to their initial state. By doing this, you can experiment with which attacks are best when fighting a boss, cast a magic and check if the enemy is weak to it, and if it's not, reset the battle and cast another magic until you find the best one. Not only magic, but this applies to physical attacks as well, so abuse the retry feature if you need to. This feature is a godsend, especially for newbies who are trying to adjust to the game's combat. All of the things that we talked about are just the tip of the iceberg, and there are so many advanced tips that I will surely be covering in the future because Metaphor Refantazio is a huge game. As mentioned, I highly suggest following my step-by-step beginner guide here for you to have the perfect start possible. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.